a path a little clearer than the last, but no one ever asked me how I've been, how I've felt, what I need. I'm stuck in stillness and the feeling of realness. Got numb fingers, I really can't feel this. Got numb fingers, I really don't feel this. The light shows me I'll come around. The night owes me a couple pounds. I run a grind, I'm right lonely. I settle down, I'm right lonely. I have to be holding, cause I ain't never told. I get a rise from everything I've ever tried. In stillness I hide, in stillness I hide, hide. In stillness I hide. When I'm alone, I get high, get grown. In stillness I hide, in stillness I hide. In stillness I hide. In stillness I hide.
Give your life to Jesus and live the LGBT community.
In stillness I hide.
And my question to you is, what is your response to those who say that conservatives and God hates everyone in the LGBTQ community? So that path, that journey, because I'm told that can never happen. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people tell me that you are what you feel, you are your attractions, you know, you're quote unquote born with it, you know, there's just many reasons why you have same-sex attraction that will never leave you. That is
My music playing fast as hell on the string for some reason. This song not supposed to be that fast. Man, oh man, oh man. I forgot what I was about to do. Said I wanted to do. Oh yeah. kind of tired, man. I'm trying to shake it off, man, so I can rap to y'all right quick. Jew school, y'all see the goddamn headline, man. Jew school. I told y'all, man, this the cross I'm dying on. You know. Like so many others, that done came before me. You know, but when you convicted, man, when you convicted by God, you ain't got no choice, man. You just gotta keep going. You know, there's no such thing as, you know, worried about folks' emotions or worried about fucking or having fears at all whatsoever, man. I'm gonna get started in a minute, man. I'm just trying to let a few more people come on in because I'm streaming on more than one platform right now. I'm just trying to let a few folks come in. I might just let the music play for a while, let y'all congregate and assume you figure what I'm about to talk about. I mean, obviously gonna talk about this Charlie Kirk fucking tragedy. That's what it is. It's a tragedy, man. And I hope everybody understands that much. Shit, man. It's something. But, you know, I guess we can get started in a minute, man. I'm gonna play my song. I think I'm gonna make this my intro. It's one of the songs like in my top 5.
Between you and I think that you and I could realign the fabric of this broken planet. I hope you understand.
Loving me, well, they gon' end.
We've a choice to make. Do we give or do we take?
Do we stay or do we go? Do we say I told you so? Tell me.
I don't know if you can hold all of the heat and the cold. Try to keep all of your feet in the boat. If you can rock it, I hope you can float. Don't run alone.
Coming on strong.
But it's different now. Empty pockets, numbered skies. Without the crowd, how could we ever be too loud?
Between you and I think that you and I could realign the fabric of this fucking broken planet.
I hope you understand. Love and evil, they go hand in hand. Between you and I think that you and I could realign the fabric of this fucking broken planet. I hope you understand. Love and evil, they go hand in hand.
Bring it back, do it clean, clean, clean. Smoke a sack, keep a max, sip it lean, lean, lean. Fuck a bang, bring it back, do it clean, clean. Smoke a sack, keep a max, sip it lean, lean. Fuck a chill, pop a pill, make a scene, sticky racks, 100 bands, out my jeans, post chillin'. Walk through my
smoke a sack, keep a mag, sippin' lean. Fuck a bang, lean it back, do it clean. Smoke a sack, keep a mag, sippin' lean. Fuck a chill, fuck a bill, make a scene. 50 racks, selling bands out my jeans. Who's chillin', walking must get busy. I came from my kidneys and I'm trapping like a Whitney. Yo, bitch with me, now boy she ain't missing. Hola, who you dissing? I say hola, cock my easy, bang.
That's back door with. Hey yo. Riding down 285, summer nights, cruising, life's ills plague my mind, but I got dreams I'm pursuing. First class flights, you can catch me chilling in Abu Dhabi, but it's crazy.
All right. What's up, y'all? What up? What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing this evening, man? It's a gloomy one, man. God damn, man. I see they really got your boy in the land of shadows, huh? But, that don't matter. I can't really focus on that, man. I wouldn't give a fuck. It was half of a motherfucker in here watching and shit. The truth is the truth, and, when you're convicted by the Lord, man, when you're convicted by God, you got to speak truth, man. You got to speak truth. You speak truth into power. Truth into power, man. And the reason why I'm saying that, man, because, man, our country, man, more than just our country, man, the world is in a very, very, very dark place right now, y'all. We're in a very, very dark place right now, man. And it's real fucking sad, man. It's sad to see. Of course, I'm talking to, or should I say, I'm speaking with the death of that young man, Charlie Kirk, in mind. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not or wasn't a fan of Charlie Kirk's because recently he, along with a lot of other talking heads and politicians, had become paid voices for Zionism. And for those of you who don't know what Zionism is, I'm not going to explain it. I'll just simply say Jews. You see the title, Jew School, baby, Jew School. This is what we here for. You know, this is what we here for. And it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same old story, same old flavor until you guys do your due diligence as Americans, as human beings, as adults, as parents and shit. You know, it shouldn't be no reason why here I am, like what 3, 4, 5 fucking years later, and it's the same message. The same message. It's the Jews. It's the Jews. Thankfully, you know, the entire world is starting to notice and shit. You know, one of the worst things that Israel could have did was show the world who they really are. Because a lot of y'all now, it's don't get me wrong, still a whole lot of y'all still blind and dumb than the motherfucker and shit. Sorry, it's just the truth. But a lot of folks around the world done woke up, and I'm talking about big names, big voices, because my voice is mute. I'm a nobody out in a greater landscape of things, and thank God, because I believe shit. If I was somebody, if I was a motherfucker who was magnetic, if I was a personality that was charismatic and could draw the people in and all that shit, boy, shit, we might be having the same Charlie Kirk story about me, and who knows, that shit still might happen. Because I ain't ever going to stop telling the truth until the world wakes up and the world realizes that we got to get rid of them fucking people. It's just that fucking simple. I'm not going to play games with you. And I know a whole lot of folks are like, man, what the hell is he talking about? What the hell do Jews got to do with what's going on today and this and that? Well, I want to show you guys because, you know, I've been seeing a lot of headlines. Tons of fucking headlines. Everywhere I turned, it was Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk, because I didn't even know the gravity of the situation when I very first saw the breaking news headline come across my phone. You know, it just said, Charlie Kirk attack. And another post said, you know, shot in the neck. So I'm thinking it's a Trump situation. I'm like, oh, they staged another one and shit. Because now that the election over with, and we got Trump in office, because we had to get him in there, y'all. We had to. I can come out and admit, man, that motherfucking Trump shit, man, that shit was staged like a motherfucking shit. Anybody who know guns, know ballistics, know that shit was faked in a motherfucker. But we had to sell this shit. My nigga Trump got his thing in. I don't think the thing about it is, I don't think Trump knew it was a fucking staged and shit at the time. I think he was damn shit. I think them peoples, the Jews. And we're going to get to it. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. I'm not just going to throw shit out there. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. But I think after that shit, he realized, oh, shit, these motherfuckers is for real. They'll smoke me in a heartbeat. I better be cool and play ball. And that's why you see, once he got in office, shit, he started piling up like a motherfucker, doing whatever they say and shit. Y'all know that. Y'all know the Jews. Israel trying to pass legislation. We got legislation in our Congress right now that they trying to make it a crime for folks to tell you the truth about what's going on. They trying to make it a crime to criticize Israel. That shit should scare the fuck out of any and every motherfucker with a voice. But y'all probably don't know shit about that because y'all don't pay attention to that. Y'all don't pay attention to the important shit. Y'all pay attention to the what's the word I'm looking for? The scandalous headlines and distractions that they give you and shit. But before I go any further, man, I just want to say something, man. Because see, I try not to think about that shit. I try not to worry about other people's problems because I'm an empath. I feel shit deeply, man. I feel shit, man. Y'all just don't know. When I be telling y'all, man, I be feeling for y'all, man. I be. You know, my heart go out for y'all. I've shed tears, many, many tears for y'all, man. I love my fucking people. And when I say my people, I'm humanity. Human fucking beings and shit. And I hate to see what's being done to y'all because most of us, you know, we just getting manipulated. Here it was. When the story first came out and I jumped on Twitter, you know, X, but I'm always going to call it Twitter. I'm a Twitter nigga. But yeah, when the story came out and I jumped on Twitter, X. Everything was Charlie Kirk. And when you went to the comments, everybody was running with the story that they had hit the net. Ain't nobody had no proof or no nothing, no evidence, no nothing. Everybody, oh, it's the motherfucking Democrats, it's the liberals and this. Hold on, let me stop and say, liberal thinking is behind this. For those of you who don't know where that liberal thinking comes from, man, all that shit comes from communism. And communism comes from fucking who else? The Jews. But you would know that shit if you guys would just simply go back and study history. Go back and study history. You guys don't know real history and shit, because if you knew real history, then you'd know that the Jews, they just doing the same thing to America that they did to Germany. Suck that motherfucker dry. You should have seen how horrible Germany was. What the Jews had. Suck that motherfucking country dry. Germany ain't never recovered to this day and shit. Germany got woman chancellor, what you call a woman president, and that. Germany is the world's bitch now. That's what Germany is. The nation that used to be the toughest motherfuckers, greatest technology in the Western world. Now Germany ain't shit. All because of them motherfucking people. Same people who, because if you didn't know, yeah, Jews responsible for World War I, Jews responsible for World War II, Jews are responsible for the creation of the atomic bomb. Yeah, Robert Oppenheimer, the Jews who control the movie industry. They gave you niggas a movie and made that motherfucker seem like a hero. It's people running around here thinking that Oppenheimer was a goddamn hero when he was a motherfucking communist that our government hated. We only worked with him because he tricked us. Yeah. We only work with them because he tricked us. He told us the same thing that the Jews always saying. Oh, they over there cooking Jews and shit. Y'all know till this day, you never will ever find any evidence of Adolf Hitler gas chambering Jews. Even more importantly, slaughtering Jews, because he didn't. No matter, prior to what you might believe, no. You want to know how most of people during World War II, most of the Jews died? Disease. Yep, disease. Different kind of fucking diseases and plagues and shit. And when they would die, he would have the soldiers take their motherfuckers out and burn the dead bodies. And somehow, some way, that shit turned into, oh, Hitler was cooking Jews in the gas chamber. They made that motherfucker out to be the worst thing in the world. And now the truth is coming out. Even though most of you guys don't give a shit, you don't go back and look at nothing, because the truth's coming out about everything. And the truth coming out, and you find out like, man, Adolf Hitler was a motherfucking Christian man who was trying to save his goddamn country from the people who had brought porn, transgenderism, homosexuality, pedophilia, all of that shit comes from them. That's what he was kicking out of his goddamn country. Those are the books he was burning. That's why he burned down the theaters. He was trying to rid his country of sin, of homosexuality, of sexual immorality. But you guys don't know that. You read your public school books that was made by Jews that told you that Hitler was a mean man and he wanted to create the ultimate race and this and that. You motherfuckers better go back and listen to his speeches, because you got technology now. You know you guys can translate that German on your own. Yeah, go back and listen to his speeches. The Western world has been had. We got a government that's under siege. And we had a real American president since like 1963 or something. I think that was 63 when they killed Kennedy. That was our last real American president. We had a shot with Trump, but they got him by the balls now. So I damn near don't even know where we go from here. I know one thing: we ain't gonna win this fight at the motherfucking ballot box. That's for certain. I would never hold my breath hoping for that shit. Trump was the last hope, and they showed us very clearly, fuck y'all. We'll buy that motherfucker too, or blackmail him, or whatever they did. They did something to him. But Ain't nobody gonna sit here and say that's the same motherfucking Trump or try to sit here and convince me that Trump ain't compromised. Oh, he's super compromised. That motherfucker gave a speech recently and shit, and in that speech, did you know that motherfucker talking about he gonna try to return us to the judo-Christian nation we was? Nigga, we ain't no judo-Christian shit. We are one nation under God. Make no mistake about it. But let's move forward and shit because I don't want to get too thrown off with what I actually came here to show you guys. And what I actually came here to show you guys is what I mean when I say it's the Jews. All right, that's not a hard sell, right? You know, I don't believe it is, man. But we're gonna jump into this Charlie Kirk situation, and I want to. But before that, before we hit the headlines, I want to show you guys what they're not talking about on the news. But first, matter of fact, we're gonna go to we're gonna watch some clips and shit. Let's get a pulse.
However, it has been booked in the county jail by Utah Valley University's police department for obstruction of justice. We do still have an active investigation for the person of interest.
Can you guys hear it? I need to check the stream.
There was one shot fired and one victim. While the suspect is at large, we believe this was a targeted attack toward one individual. This is a tragic moment in our state and our country. As we heal, we encourage everyone who's struggling with news of the incident to call 988.
Oh.
Mental health crisis line. In addition to that, partners with the FBI will also be discussing
Fuck is that noise?
other ways we can communicate through the public for tips and other information.
Hold on a second. I gotta take care of some shit. You know what? I'm just gonna turn it up. Fuck it. I ain't gonna worry about it right now. Sorry about that humming shit in the background. Well, I don't really want to try to address it right now.
Our thoughts are also with the people who witnessed this traumatic event. We know that what you experienced was very difficult. Our thoughts are with you as well. As soon as we heard about the shooting, special agents and personnel from the Salt Lake Field Office responded immediately. We have full resources devoted to this investigation, including tactical, operational,
That ain't right. We gotta do something about
to be
that.
clear, the
Where are my
FBI will
headphones
fully
at?
support and co-lead this investigation alongside
Between you and I.
We are working on setting up a digital media tip line, and as soon as it's established, we'll get that information out to everyone. I know there's a lot of questions. This is very much an active case, and this investigation is in its early stages. We are following all the leads and all the evidence. If anyone has any information, please report it to the FBI or local law enforcement. Thank you.
On behalf of President Tumenez, who we've been communicating with, and she's on her way back right now, I say that on behalf of Utah Valley University, we are shocked and saddened by the tragic passing of Charlie Kirk. We express our sincere condolences to the Kirk family. We grieve with our students, faculty, and staff who bore witness to this unspeakable tragedy.
Yeah, I got it.
He
I
was
can't
invited
handle
by the
that.
Student group Tournament USA to speak on our campus. We firmly believe that UVU is a place to share ideas and to debate openly and respectfully. Any attempt to infringe on those rights has no place here. We do not condone any form of violence at UVU and seek to make our campus a safe place for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this dark and tragic occasion. I want to
I'm back.
our law enforcement officers who are leading this investigation, starting with Chief Long and his response here with the UVU Police Department. We're grateful for your leadership and your team. And again, to the speakers that you've just heard from who are co-leading this investigation. I also want to recognize Sheriff Mike Smith, who has been an invaluable partner as this investigation moves forward. I've been in touch with President Trump, with FBI Director Kash Patel, We are completely aligned with our state and federal partners.
I'm gonna pause this right now. Yeah, they talking about they completely aligned and all that, but yet the suspect is still on the loose, y'all. For those of you who ain't kept up with the headlines, that old bald guy that they showed y'all and they handcuffed and all that, and I said to see it, that old man, that dude ain't shot that motherfucker, man. I know well, I don't know who shot it, but I knew that motherfucker didn't because it was the same play and shit. Oh, it's this crazy old liberal right here. No, the fuck it ain't. No, the fuck it ain't. But let's get into what I came to show y'all, right? Which is they talking about a whole lot of shit, right? They talking about a whole lot of things on all these channels, on all this media. But what they not talking about is this. Okay, hold on a second. Let me, which one was it? Oh, yeah, let me remove this. Yeah, I want y'all to be able to read that. Can y'all read that? Huh? Make sure you read it. This is Harrison H. Smith. He's a writer, journalist, however you want to, whatever you want to call him, for the Washington Post. Very well known, very credible, very credible. And this was just a day ago. So before this ever went down, this is what Mr. Harrison Smith posted. For those of you who can't read, I know a lot of y'all ain't got the best reading comprehension skills, but it says, I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. Now, why the fuck would Charlie Kirk be worried about the Jews killing him? Huh? I want you to think about that to yourself. This ain't no AI. You can go look it up. And this was yesterday. And this is not the only info out there about this. Let me tell y'all something. Right, matter of fact, before I telling you something, I want to show you something. I want to show you something else that I know you probably ain't seen. This is how, I'm going to show you how I knew it wasn't that old man. This is how I knew it wasn't that fucking old man.
Get right up.
Yeah.
Look.
You think he'd already be in place?
You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying?
Huh.
He just ran from, over, where's my finger? Well, from over there, ran in. And now he's right there. Just saying,
That's who shot Charlie Kirk. Okay? Okay? So these motherfuckers on the news, they can sit here and pretend with y'all and play monkey in the middle because you know what they're trying to do? I want to let y'all know something, man. They're trying to get y'all at each other's throats. These people, they want blacks and whites killing each other. They want Christians and Muslims killing each other. Yeah. 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 I've been trying to tell y'all for the longest time, and eventually y'all gonna come to the same conclusion. If you ever, as an adult, just go back and look at history. Fuck look at it. You can look at the shit that's going on now. Let me ask y'all a question and shit, because I know y'all remember October 7th, because it's about to be another October 7th soon, right? Remember October 7th when everybody thought that, Israel was just victims. Yeah, them Muslims, Hamas, they parachuted in with rocket launchers, and they would shoot rocket launchers over the thing. And it just so happened that Israel's Iron Dome just wasn't working that day, huh? And it just so happened that no soldiers were around that day, huh? And it just so happens there was no police officers or nothing. No type of defense whatsoever on October 7th, huh? Is that what you motherfuckers are telling me that you believe after everything you've seen? They've annihilated Gaza, but that wasn't enough for them. Who else they didn't bomb? Gaza, Iran. Then they bombed Qatar yesterday. Yemen. Y'all remember the shit that they did with the motherfucking pages, with the beepers? They had bombs in the pages on them motherfuckers. So you telling me you still don't get it? You still think that these just some weak old innocent motherfuckers? I want all you fake ass Christians, and I said what I said, fake ass Christians. I want all you fake ass Christians to go do some homework. And it's very simple. I want you to look up, how do Jews feel about non-Jews? And how do Jews feel about Jesus? Look those two things up. Study that. I want you to really study that, and then I want you to come back with a straight fucking face and tell me it ain't them. You know, I keep a verse very handy, man. Not on in my head, plastered certain places, and it's a very, very, very well known verse from Revelations 3:9. Behold, I will make those who are of the synagogue of Satan, who claim to be Jews, though they are not, but are liars. I will make them come and fall down at your feet and acknowledge that I have loved thee. I say that not to you guys. No, not to the Goyim, as the Jews call us. You know, or you guys might like the term Gentiles. No, that message wasn't for you. It's for them people because they watch and they listen to every fucking thing that we do. And I just want them to know, man, Christ has returned. So no amount of propaganda, no amount of fear tactics and shit, man. You know, I'm the type of motherfucker, man. When I embarked on this journey here, I had already started conditioning my mind. Man, these motherfuckers, they don't care about nothing. They don't care about life. Nigga, they might kill you and everybody you know. Are you ready for that fight? Can you deal with that shit? And of course, like any sane man, hell no. I don't want to die. I don't want my family to die. But you know what, man? When you convicted by God, man, you put all them fears away, man, because you know you walking with the Lord. You know you walking with the Lord. And I can tell you, man, anybody who studies history, anybody who studies ancient scripture, anybody who pays attention, man, it is 100% undeniable. It's them people. They are the worst thing that ever happened to humanity. And there will never, ever be peace in the world. There will never be peace in the world as long as those people are around. There's a reason why over 1,000 fucking nations, damn near every place that they've gone, they've been exiled. You want to know why? Because they bring the bullshit. They bring the pornography. They bring the homosexuality. They bring the spying. The human trafficking, the pedophilia. Yes, it all comes from the same fucking people. And you want to know why they got? Here goes some more homework for you guys, man. You guys really need to look up Bolsheviks or Bolshevism. Either one of them. Look up Russia. See, the reason why they got kicked out of Russia is because they tried to fucking assassinate the Tsar of Russia. And they got caught. So they were exiled out of Russia. That was like the 10,029th nation that had kicked them out. And no nation would accept them. Except one. One country. Because everybody else was like, hell no, get the fuck out of here. One country said, we'll let you win. Come on over here with us. You want to know what country that was? Germany. And you see how that worked out for them. After Germany, there has only been one other. You know who that was? Us. I want you to go back in history, guys. These for the people who love history. I want you to go back to a few years before World War II. I want you to go back. Start in 1938. Really, 1937 would be better. But let's say 1938. I want you to go back to 1938, and I want you to just look up every big story from 1938. I don't even want you to look up a particular story. I don't want to give you an angle. I don't want to feel like I'm steering you or coercing you into a direction. No, I want you to go do your homework for yourself. We coming upon a dark. We got some dark days, y'all. We got some dark days. Dark days, man. Dark days ahead, folks. Man. That shit didn't play, and I'm glad it didn't play. So I don't want to see that shit. I want to show you guys a picture, man. Because I want you to know who those people is, because so many of you think, oh, the Jews, they're the innocent people who got caught up in the Holocaust. We got some bullshit going on, y'all. That shit did not want to load. You want to know what this image is that you're looking at on my screen? The image that you're looking at an event where Jews dressed up like doctors. Dressed up like doctors. Went into this hospital to kill Muslims. Yeah. This is what you guys don't know. You guys don't know the world. You guys don't know what's going on, man. And I really wish that y'all would start talking to people who do. And I really wish the people who do know what's going on, man. At some point, man, you guys got to stop being fucking cowards. At some point, you got to stop being fucking cowards. Yeah, Leslie Goldberg. She wrote some shit. This is a Jew. She wrote some shit in Yiddish on the internet, but here you go. Nowadays, y'all know we got technology. We can translate everything. This is how Jews feel, because y'all think that Jews and white folks are one and the same. No, Jews are the fake Jews, who are really Turks and Khazars. Yeah, these are the folks from the Khazarian Empire. We can go back way further than that. But right now, just know these are Turks. These are Europeans. There ain't nothing Semitic about these people. That's why I'll always keep on saying what I say. And I dare any motherfucker to ever try to call me anti-Semitic. I am a Semitic. I am of a Semitic people. None of them motherfuckers in Israel can say that. Those are not Jewish people. Period. They are not Jews. They are not Jewish. Ain't nothing Jew about them. Those are evil, satanic Europeans. And guess what? They hate us all. Whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're Christian, whether you're Muslim, Republican, Democrat, they hate us all. We are fucking roaches to these people. Fucking roaches to these people. You guys better take a look at these so-called Jewish folks' holy book. You want to know? You want to really know about them? Read the Talmud, Talmud. And buddy, they got a book that's worse than that Talmud. Oh my God. Y'all don't understand what we're dealing with. And these are the people that our so-called president and all these fucking politicians and everybody, these are the people who they buddied up against because they got no choice. We are a country under siege. And I really wish that you guys would pay attention and believe that. Oh yeah, found an old image of Ghislaine Maxwell, Jew. When I tell you that they got our government by the balls. Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell spoke at the United Nations at least 9 times. Her father was the Israelis' version of the CIA. Let me tell y'all, first of all, for anybody who think that, because I know a lot of y'all confused. For anybody who think that the CIA is our government, it is not. Okay, CIA is Jews spying. That's the Jews' worldwide spy network, Central Intelligence Agency. Hell, they didn't. Do you know how many fucking Americans they didn't smoke? American politicians, presidents, all that shit, man. You motherfuckers better really start paying attention and really learn history because we coming to a point, man. Shit, it's about to get real dark, folks. It's gonna get real dark, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. I'm having thoughts about just moving completely away from all of this nonsense and politics and all of it. Just for the simple fact is, for one thing, the scriptures say, I'll always be speaking on deaf ears. Scriptures say your ears gonna be closed and your heart will be cold. So you'll never get it. Yeah, that's what the scriptures say. Unfortunately, the scriptures say many of you got to go. You know, man, if you ain't got a relationship with the Creator, if you ain't got a relationship with God, you better get one. You better get one. We got some dark days ahead, man. Because right now, I'm gonna be honest, I think these folks are just way too far out ahead of us. Y'all think y'all don't understand who these fucking people are. And sadly, by the time the majority of the world figure it out, shit, it'd be over. It's over with. Man, here go that. Man. Okay, ladies. Man, I don't want to show that shit because I'm on YouTube right now anyway. I can't show this shit, but it's bad, man. And I don't want to see that shit anyway. I'm not playing that shit. I've seen so many people playing that fucking video, man, and that shit is just so disgraceful. Man, I know y'all don't like me anyway, but man, can y'all please do me a favor, please? If they do some shit like that to me, man, can you motherfuckers please don't do that to my motherfucking kids? What else? Do we really gotta be the first to the story that bad? Is it really that important to be the first one to break a fucking story, man? I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said, I wasn't a fan of Charlie Kirk in the first place. No, because he took money and he was promoting the same people who I'm telling you who smoked his ass, and he got scared at the end because he started getting the conscience. And just like they taught Kanye, you can't get no conscience with us, boy. Once you took this dirty, bloody money, you in. Ain't no out. You see Kanye, they got that motherfucker running around the whole goddamn world and masks and hoodies and shit. He gotta always stay in the public light because if he ain't, he know they gonna smoke his ass. Y'all wondering what Kanye doing? Kanye trying to goddamn to stay alive. That's what the fuck Kanye doing. But let me give you a reminder. But I want to stop talking about Charlie Kirk's situation for a minute, man. You know, It's tragic and it's fucked up. Period. You know, I'm not buying that. Oh, this was politically motivated. Yeah. They try to tell you that, oh yeah, it was somebody on the left. No, it was the left, because communism, liberalism, just in case you guys don't know, yeah, that also comes from Jews. They have poisoned our nation. They have poisoned our children. They have poisoned the women. The mind of a motherfucking modern woman today, whoop, nothing. And y'all be so busy getting in your feelings about what I say instead of paying attention to what I say. Fuck how I said it. Is it true? And it's true. Right now today, man, we a nation of fucking morons. Idiots. And that is so fucked up. So, I'm not even going to put too much on this shit. You guys want to know the truth about those people? Sit back, relax, and enjoy these 45 minutes. American Rob, let's go.
Palestine was hardly Britain's to give away. A young John F. Kennedy wrote in a 1939 letter to his father. He further remarked,
pay attention, folks.
After all, the country has been Arabic for the last few hundred years.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
To be in deception, to be in fear, to be deceived is a much worse place to be than to have some truth. Like it says in the Bible, the truth will set you free.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Here's an Israeli confessing the truth.
Washington is Israel's most subservient colony.
The government's been taken over. The date I say it was
Ron Paul,
that there was a coup and we lost our government was November 22nd.
Yes.
The assassination of Kennedy.
I'm a former Zionist and a former Jew.
Y'all better start paying
Let's go on a
attention.
journey together to
Pay attention,
uncover
folks.
the truth.
I think Americans largely get it. They know who the good guys are and who the bad guys are.
On 9/11, why was this Israeli woman smiling?
Because this is who they are.
Big catastrophe, and I'm Israeli, and I hope that now people understand what we have to deal with. Kind of
Smiling.
on a day-to-day basis.
Look at that! Look at that!
This is
The
World
synagogue
Trade
of
Center 7,
Satan.
which wasn't even hit by an airplane on 9/11, free fell into its own footprint at the speed of gravity and was an obvious controlled demolition. One of
Pay
Benjamin
attention, folks.
Netanyahu's closest friends, Larry Silverstein, a major Zionist financier of Israel who is deeply connected with numerous Israeli terrorist leaders such as Yitzhak Shamir and Ariel Sharon, leased the World Trade Center shortly before 9/11 for a mere $14 million. When the Twin Towers collapsed in controlled demolitions engineered by the Israeli Mossad, Silverstein worked through his buddy Elliot Spitzer, the pro-Israel Zionist governor of New York, to use an insurance scam that pocketed him a $4.5 billion windfall.
Elliot Spitzer, he got me the $4.5 billion. We got very, very lucky. It was very, very good for the family, very good for us, and we were very, very fortunate.
We are benefiting from one thing, and that is the attack on the Twin Towers and Pentagon and the American struggle in Iraq. The Israeli Mariv newspaper quoted Benjamin Netanyahu as saying in April 2008, He reportedly added that these events swung American public opinion in Israeli favor.
And I hope that now people understand what we have to deal with, the kind of people that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
Israel's main strategic goal with Operation 911 was to spread panic and terrorize the public into hating Arabs and Muslims so that Americans would support perpetual Middle East wars on behalf of Israel. What's the truth about Al-Qaeda, who is blamed for 9/11, and the so-called Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, or ISIS? Both were created by Israel's Mossad and the CIA, who used them as puppets to deceive the public and fabricate phony justifications for U.S. wars, primarily to advance Israel's goal to create a Middle East empire.
From the Jordan River to the Middle East, that's all ours. It was promised to us. There's no Palestinian nation.
There's a fight between the good and the bad, the good and the evil.
We will bomb Shifa Hospital, all the hospitals, all the tunnels, and kill them all. It's about time. We are the center of the world now.
Here's former CIA Director and U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo dancing with the Israeli army, apparently to celebrate the joint Israeli-U.S. genocide in Gaza. Israel has been planning the total genocide, expulsion, and subjugation of the Palestinian people for many years. In February 2008, Israeli General Matan Vilnay threatened Palestinians in Gaza with a bigger Holocaust. In 2017, Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich unveiled Israel's blueprint to commit genocide against the Palestinians in the Decisive Plan, also known as the Subjugation Plan. When asked if he intended to slaughter entire Palestinian families, including women and children, Smotrich said, "In war, as in war."
Everyone knows that what happened on October 7th was an Israeli setup. Everyone knows.
What? Look at him smile.
It was an Israeli setup.
This is Israel's 9/11. This is Israel's 9/11.
Israel used its second 9/11, the October 7th, 2023 incident, as the justification to implement the Decisive Plan genocide of Palestinians that Smotrich publicly announced 6 years earlier.
All night I've been removing bodies from beneath the rubble, dead children. We pulled them from 3 locations.
And I would like to use the rest of my time to say how appalled I am that people are bringing up the Holocaust. Do not use other genocides to describe this one. I have been...
You've seen footage of
shredded children's bodies. That's my taxpayer dollars. I'm going to bomb those kids.
So I think we should kill them all, if that makes you feel better.
Washington is Israel's most subservient colony.
What kind of a peace do I mean, and what kind of a peace do we seek? Not a Pax Americana, enforced on the world by American weapons of war. Not the peace of the grave or the security of the slave. I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope and build a better life for their children. Not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, but peace in all time.
JFK supported Palestinian refugee rights, opposed Israel's nuclear weapons program and expansionist war plans, and tried to force AIPAC to register as a foreign agent. From the moment he took office in January 1961,
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States, so help me God.
Know your history, folks.
JFK made it crystal clear that nuclear weapon non-proliferation was a pillar of his presidency as part of his quest for global disarmament, the abolition of nuclear weapons and all weapons of war, and ending the capacity of all nations to wage war. His Zionist vice president, Lyndon Johnson, who was primarily loyal to Israel, did not share JFK's values.
I have already taken steps to coordinate and expand our disarmament effort and to make arms control a central goal of our national policy under my direction. The deadly arms race and the huge resources it absorbs have too long overshadowed all else we must do. We must prevent that arms racing from spreading to new nations, to new nuclear powers.
Not only was LBJ opposed to every aspect of JFK's peace and disarmament policies, Johnson in the 1940s had illegally shipped weapons in boxes marked Texas grapefruit to Zionist terrorist militias who ethnically cleansed the Palestinians in the 1948 Nakba. Neither JFK nor his brother and confidant, Robert Kennedy, wanted LBJ in the White House, as revealed by JFK's widow, Jackie Kennedy.
It was only months after her husband's assassination when a 34-year-old widow sat down to record more than 8 hours of recollections about her husband and his most private thoughts while they were still fresh. JFK and his brother Bobby on Lyndon Johnson, the new president.
Bobby told me this later, and I know Jack said it to me sometimes. He said, "Oh God, can you ever imagine what would happen to the country if Lyndon was president?" So many times he'd say it if there was ever a problem.
Lyndon Johnson was a pathological liar, as reported by Bobby Kennedy, who said,
I just want to pause for 1 second to say to black people, yeah, that Lyndon B. Johnson, the same one who said he gonna have these niggas voting Democrat for 200 fucking years. And look at you niggas. Look at you niggas.
BJ lies all the time. I'm telling you, he just lies continually about everything. He lies even when he doesn't have to lie. Speaking of lies, by May of 1963, JFK was furious at Israel for lying to him constantly about their nuclear weapons program. Kennedy delivered a near ultimatum to Israeli Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion: allow meaningful American inspections of Israel's reactor in Dimona to prove it wasn't being used for nuclear weapons, or Israel would risk losing all American and Western support. Also, Ben-Gurion established his ambition to, quote, abolish partition and expand to the whole of Palestine, end quote, as far back as 1937. When Israel attempted to conquer the Gaza Strip and the Egyptian Sinai Peninsula, seize the Suez Canal, and overthrow Egypt's President Nasser, with help from Britain and France, in the 1956-57 Suez Crisis, President Eisenhower kicked Israel out of Egypt using boycotts, divestment, and sanctions against Israel. Lyndon Johnson, the leader of the Senate in 1957, strongly opposed Eisenhower's sanctions against Israel, but President Eisenhower overruled him and told Israel to pound sand and withdraw. JFK, who was also a senator in 1957, did not rush to Israel's defense or attempt to undermine Eisenhower's sanctions against Israel the way LBJ had.
Thousands of Israelis demonstrate in Jerusalem against withdrawal from Gaza and Aqaba. Mr. Ben-Gurion, the premier, enters to announce the government's decision to the Knesset, Israel's parliament.
Nearly the entire world applauded the Eisenhower administration for compelling the Israeli aggressor to back off. The American ambassador in Egypt said, "The U.S. suddenly emerged as a real champion of right." Eisenhower's handling of the crisis was a high point of his presidency. It upheld the authority and moral stance of the United Nations and the ideals of the United States. Israel learned an important lesson from this humiliating retreat. The only way Israel would be able to conquer and hold on to the West Bank, Gaza, and vast tracts of Egyptian and Syrian territory in the 1960s was by placing a Zionist puppet they could control in the White House.
Y'all paying attention yet? This video right here is 15 minutes, and there's 2 more behind it that's 15 minutes each. Like I told you, 45 minutes. Give you a 45-minute history lesson through reels. That's why I call this real revelations, baby. We're going to do magic around here. It's time y'all start getting y'all shit together, because I'm tired of watching this shit. All they doing is getting y'all to fight each other. They going to get y'all to kill each other while they keep on milking us all dry, laughing in our goddamn face. Laughing in our goddamn face. Next, they go part 2, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Oh, y'all thought we were done? Oh no, you don't. I told y'all you don't know Jews.
President Kennedy
let's
had
get to know
a
him.
warm and cooperative
Learn history. Let's get to know him. We're gonna learn together today.
President Nasser, whom Ben-Gurion hysterically denounced as a would-be Hitler without any factual basis.
We want to be friendly to all the world. We want to participate in the case of peace. We want to cooperate with the world to avoid war. We have to defend our territory against aggression, and we insist about gaining the rights of the Arabs of Palestine, the 1 million refugees. We are insisting and we are calling to give the Palestine refugees their rights, their territory, and their land and their homes.
Overthrowing Egypt's President Nasser was one of Israel's numerous objectives that JFK opposed. Additionally, JFK was in sync with President Nasser in putting enormous diplomatic pressure on Israel's Ben-Gurion to allow hundreds of thousands of Palestinian refugees to return to their homes or be given the option of compensation and resettlement. This would have largely reversed Ben-Gurion's Plan Dalet, which Palestinians call the Nakba, or catastrophe, in which Ben-Gurion and other Zionist terrorist leaders masterminded the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, using terrorism and the mass slaughter of civilians to expel 750,000 Palestinians from their homes and destroy 530 Palestinian villages.
Palestinians who fled often carried only enough to stay away for a few weeks, hoping they'd eventually return home.
A lot of them locked their doors, put their key in their pocket, and then moved to safer ground. When you leave the house and you take your key with you, it's because you're planning to go home. In the case of the Palestinians, those refugees weren't allowed to return.
Refugees trying to return were often shot at. Zionist paramilitary operations also tried to prevent them from returning again by destroying the villages.
That act of preventing their return compounded the Nakba. So the Nakba is both the forcible displacement of Palestinians from their homes and lands and country, as well as preventing them to return once the fighting was over.
Palestinian society was dismembered, crushed. More than half of the Palestinian people became refugees, stateless, dispossessed of their land,
Over time, the State of Israel covered up the physical evidence of an Arab Palestine. Place names were often changed from Arabic ones to Hebrew ones. The Jewish National Fund embarked on a massive effort to plant thousands of acres of pine forests and recreational areas on top of hundreds of ruined Palestinian villages.
Even though these forests have now grown into big pine trees, Palestinians have not forgotten their homelands.
JFK's proposed return of hundreds of thousands of Palestinian refugees would have upended Israel's violently engineered Zionist Jewish majority status. Prior to Ben-Gurion's Operation
Hold on. I just want to make sure we all on the same page now, right? So far, see y'all got it. This is one of the reasons why they blew Kennedy goddamn brains out. Because he wanted those Palestinians to have their land. He was trying to tell Israel to get the fuck on. And he wanted them to register as a foreign lobby. See, there's a whole lot of shit that y'all don't know about history, and they ain't gonna talk about it on your mainstream media. They gonna keep on selling you a story, trying to get you to believe that, what was that motherfucker? John Wilkes Booth. No, who was that? Lee Harvey Oswald? Yeah, I'm thinking about Lincoln. They want you motherfuckers believing that Lee Harvey Oswald and hit the world's greatest, most impossible shot ever. No, it was the motherfucking driver. Some of us, man, if y'all do y'all homework, man, y'all better start using this goddamn internet for the way that it should be used. It's a way for everybody to be connected. And y'all motherfuckers sitting here with the same motherfuckers that's in your goddamn neighborhood, same motherfuckers you see every goddamn day, sitting here talking about the same old dumbass shit. Meanwhile, the most evil fucking entity in history, in the history of humanity, these are the worst fucking people ever. They are the synagogue of Satan. But I want to finish learning, niggas. Finish learning.
1948, Jews
Let's go.
constituted only 1/3 of the
1948.
population of Palestine, even after massive immigration from Europe over the prior decade.
Oh, Europe,
In
huh?
1947, Jews controlled only 7% of the land of Palestine before Zionist militias stole huge amounts of Palestinian land to create the State of Israel. Furthermore, JFK's refugee return would have de facto blocked Israel's long-game maximalist Middle East ambition to create a
Go back and learn history before they erase it on your
Israel empire from the Euphrates River to the Nile River, what Zionist rabbis called the Promised Land, swallowing all of Palestine and Jordan, plus large chunks of Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and all of Lebanon. Ben-Gurion utterly resisted JFK's Palestinian refugee return plan and wrote in the fall of 1962, quote, "Israel will fight against this implementation down to the last man," end quote. In fact, the Zionist Stern Gang terrorist leader Yitzhak Shamir, who later became the 7th Prime Minister of Israel, oversaw the assassination of UN peace mediator Count Folke Bernadotte in 1948, in large part because Bernadotte also, like JFK and President
You starting to see a pattern,
wanted
folks?
the Palestinian refugees to be able
You starting to see a pattern?
to their homes.
On the 17th of September 1948, Count
We got to start talking about this shit. They already trying to make laws. They already trying to pass bills to keep us from criticizing because they don't want us talking about this shit.
YMCA, the three-car convoy was suddenly halted. An army jeep pulled out from a side street to block the road. 3 men in Israeli army fatigues sprang out of the jeep.
Then suddenly the Count opens the window of his car. He can see what's happening. Then they identify him, and Yehoshua Cohen goes to the car, puts his Schmeisser submachine gun in through the window,
Cohen.
and unloads.
I told y'all pay attention to them last names.
By 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Bernadotte lay dead in hospital. Politicians and diplomats representing their countries at the UN meeting in Paris came to Orly Airport to pay their last respects.
Following the Bernadotte slaying, Israel's Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion granted a general amnesty to all the guilty parties. He chose assassin Yehoshua Cohen to be his close friend and personal bodyguard at Kibbutz Sde in the Negev. Ben-Gurion created and supervised the Mossad, and Yitzhak Shamir became the Mossad Director of Assassinations, a position Shamir held at the time of the JFK assassination in 1963. For Israel, the JFK assassination was the sequel to the Bernadotte assassination 15 years earlier. On top of everything,
I want to pause this again for 1 second just to let y'all know this is what Trump was trying to show y'all when he said he was going to declassify them JFK files. Same thing like when he started trying to declassify MLK files. It's all them. MLK, Rosa Parks, they were communist agents. Okay? MLK ain't led us to no motherfucker promised land. He led us astray. Look at us. I'm sick of my people not knowing real fucking history. That shit they taught y'all in public school. Thank God I was able to get, goddammit, a different education. And I didn't get indoctrinated. Let's go, though.
else, JFK was livid at Israel's lobbyists in America, such as Abraham Feinberg and Isaiah Kennan, for shamelessly attempting to buy his entire Middle East foreign policy during the 1960 presidential campaign. He directed his Attorney General and brother RFK to register the American Zionist Council, the predecessor to AIPAC, as a foreign agent. An attorney who worked for Israel's lobbyists wrote that this effort would eventually destroy the entire Zionist movement. Had the Kennedy brothers' registration efforts succeeded, it likely would have resulted in the end of the State of Israel, because these same American Zionist lobbyists for Israel, such as Abraham Feinberg, would have been exposed for funding Israel's nuclear weapons project, contrary to JFK's entire foreign policy. Furthermore, Israel's agents in America were illegally and treasonously stealing nuclear weapons materials from the UnJEWed Apollo uranium plant in Apollo, Pennsylvania, and smuggling them to Israel. Ryan Dawson reports in his documentary that the UnJEWed nuclear holding company was a den of Zionists.
Their directors were Ivan J. Novick, a future Zionist Organization of America president, and David Lowenthal, a refugee smuggler for Israel who fought in the 1956 war.
The FBI has photographs of Lowenthal shaking hands with David Ben-Gurion and Moshe Dayan, Israel's military chief of staff from 1953 to 1958.
Lowenthal's partner was Dr. Zalman Shapiro, the president of UnJEWed, and also the Zionist Organization of America chapter president of Pennsylvania.
The American Zionist Council was pumping out propaganda about every aspect of Israel's nuclear program to deceive the American public. These treasonous lobbyists who claimed to be Americans but were loyal to Israel lied and said Israel's nuclear reactor in Dimona was built for peaceful purposes and couldn't possibly produce a bomb. If the Kennedy brothers had succeeded in registering the American Zionist Council as a foreign agent, which would have subjected all their records and finances to federal scrutiny, the entire nuclear weapons theft operation would likely have been unmasked. And had JFK found out about it, he certainly would have ended all military and economic aid to Israel, as he threatened to do 3 times starting in May of 1963. Israel would likely have collapsed given its total dependency on American aid. Also, JFK might have asked the United Nations to rescind its 1949 vote that granted member state status to Israel. JFK might even have asked the UN to rescind its 1947 vote that partitioned Palestine like a crazy quilt and designated huge amounts of land to Zionist Jews who didn't even own that land.
At Flushing, Long Island, the General Assembly of the United Nations has made its decision on Palestine. The map shows what partition means. The Jewish state colored light, the Arab state dark, Jaffa to go to the Arabs, Jerusalem internationalized.
No Arab state voted for the 1947 partition of Palestine.
The Arab delegates declare a boycott as the final roll call has begun.
In the face of total opposition from all Arab nations, including the Palestinians, the Zionist movement used bribery, threats, and even an assassination attempt against President Truman to pass the 1947 UN partition of Palestine vote by the necessary two-thirds supermajority. The U.S. State Department had strenuously opposed the partition of Palestine and the creation of the State of Israel, considering both to be contrary to American principles and U.S. interests, against indigenous Palestinian wishes, and a violation of democratic principles. The Joint Chiefs warned that the Zionist strategy will seek to involve the United States in a continuously widening and deepening series of operations intended to secure maximum Jewish objectives. U.S. Secretary of Defense James Forrestal said the partition plan and creation of Israel could endanger U.S. national security. Despite all this, U.S. President Harry Truman supported both the partition of Palestine and recognition of Israel. Yitzhak Shamir's terrorist Stern Gang attempted to assassinate Truman in the summer of 1947, a few months before the partition vote. Harry Truman's daughter, Margaret, disclosed this incident in her biography of her father. Yitzhak Shamir's Stern Gang mailed letter bombs to Truman and senior White House staff members that could have killed or maimed them. Although the Secret Service intercepted the letters, Truman got the message loud and clear. As a result of both this threat against his life and in an attempt to appease domestic Zionist Jewish voters and collect Zionist campaign funds, Truman both supported the 1947 partition vote and rushed to recognize Israeli statehood in 1948 against the objections of his diplomatic advisors.
We had several other people in the country, even among the Jews, the Zionists particularly, who were against anything that was to be done if they couldn't have the whole of Palestine and everything handed to them on a silver plate so they wouldn't have to do anything. It couldn't be done. We had to take it in small doses. You can't move 5 or 6 million people out of a country and fill it up with 5 or 6 million more and expect both sets of them to be pleased. We had all sorts of objections to everything that was done. Something had to be done. We went ahead and done it and had it done, and now it's working out. Eventually, I think we'll have them all satisfied, but it's going to take a great deal of time yet to get the job done.
In fact, it was Abraham Feinberg, the same treasonous lobbyist who later funded Israel's nuclear weapons program and tried to buy JFK's Middle East foreign policy, who would finance Truman's whistle-stop election campaign in 1948.
I forgot I was mute. I was saying, I'm about to play this last 15 minutes and shit. But if you've watched to this point, man, you get it now. You get it. You can't ignore it. You get it? And you think that this is something? Man, you guys only know. Now, I want you to think about everything that you're learning right now. I want you to couple that with the fact that you know that they control the banks. You know that they've been controlling the education system since the 1900s, like 1903, I believe Rockefeller created the General Education Board. For those of you who don't know, look it up. Know your fucking history. So they control the banking industry. You know they control the media. They own all of the fucking news networks. That's why your news is fake as fuck. They own all the news networks. They control Hollywood. They control the banking industry. They control the education. Black folks should really be thinking about this when you think about how the difference in the education you've been receiving. Black folks should really think about this when you think about redlining. But I want you to put everything that you learned right here in this video here. But I want you to make that shit stick. And then I want you to think about history, period. Everything now think about the most tragic events in history. I promise you, if you go study that shit, I promise you if you study that shit, it's going to always, always, always lead you to a motherfucking Jew. Part 3, ladies and gentlemen.
President Kennedy had a warm and cooperative relationship with Egypt's President Nasser, whom Ben-Gurion hysterically denounced as a would-be Hitler without any factual basis.
We want to be friendly to all the world. We want to participate in the case of peace. We want to cooperate with the world to avoid war. We have to defend our territory against aggression, and we insist about gaining the rights of the Arabs of Palestine, the 1 million refugees. We are insisting and we are calling to give the Palestine refugees their rights, their territory, and their land and their homes.
Overthrowing Egypt's President Nasser was one of Israel's numerous objectives that JFK opposed. Additionally, JFK was in sync with President Nasser in putting enormous diplomatic pressure on Israel's Ben-Gurion to allow hundreds of thousands of Palestinian refugees to return to their homes or be given the option of compensation and resettlement. This would have largely reversed Ben-Gurion's Plan Dalet, which Palestinians call the Nakba, or catastrophe, in which Ben-Gurion and other Zionist terrorist leaders masterminded the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, using terrorism and the mass slaughter of civilians to expel 750,000 Palestinians from their homes and destroy 530 Palestinian villages.
Palestinians who fled often carried only enough to stay away for a few weeks, hoping they'd eventually return home.
A lot of them locked their doors, put their key in their pocket, and then moved to safer ground. When you leave the house and you take your key with you, it's because you're planning to go home. In the case of the Palestinians, those refugees weren't allowed to return.
Refugees trying to return were often shot at. Zionist paramilitary operations also tried to prevent them from returning again by destroying the villages.
That act of preventing their return compounded the Nakba. So the Nakba is both the forcible displacement of Palestinians from their homes and lands and country, as well as preventing them to return once the fighting was over.
Palestinian society was dismembered, crushed. More than half of the Palestinian people became refugees, stateless, dispossessed of their land.
Over time, the State of Israel covered up the physical evidence of an Arab Palestine. Place names were often changed from Arabic ones to Hebrew ones. The Jewish National Fund embarked on a massive effort to plant thousands of acres of pine forests and recreational areas on top of hundreds of ruined Palestinian villages.
Even though these forests have now grown into big pine trees, Palestinians have not forgotten their homelands.
JFK's proposed return of hundreds of thousands of Palestinian refugees would have upended Israel's violently engineered Zionist Jewish majority status. Prior to Ben-Gurion's Operation Dalet in 1948, Jews constituted only 1/3 of the population of historic Palestine, even after massive immigration from Europe over the prior decade. In 1947, Jews controlled only 7% of the land of Palestine before Zionist militias stole huge amounts of Palestinian land to create the State of Israel. Furthermore, JFK's refugee return would have de facto blocked Israel's long-game maximalist Middle East ambition to create a massive Greater Israel empire from the Euphrates River to the Nile River, what Zionist rabbis called the Promised Land, swallowing all of Palestine and Jordan, plus large chunks of Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and all of Lebanon. Ben-Gurion utterly resisted JFK's Palestinian refugee return plan and wrote in the fall of 1962, quote, "Israel will fight against this implementation down to the last man," end quote. In fact, the Zionist Stern Gang terrorist leader Yitzhak Shamir, who later became the 7th Prime Minister of Israel, oversaw the assassination of UN peace mediator Count Furthermore, the Zionist president of United Fruit Company, Samuel Zemurray, worked directly with future
Sorry
Israeli
about that. I didn't realize
Chaim
that I had
to flagrantly
replayed the same
buy
one.
UN votes for the November 1947
I'm trying to get the
plan.
word out.
Zemurray asked,
And I hope that you guys do. I hope that you watch this entire fucking video, and I hope that you talk about it, and I hope that you share it.
Can your vote be changed?
The world needs to know the truth about what's really going on. The world needs to know the truth about real history.
Zionists used every trick imaginable to pressure and cajole world leaders. Costa Rica's president, Jose Figueres, reportedly received a blank checkbook. Haiti was promised economic aid if it would change its original vote opposing partition. Zionist financier and longtime presidential advisor Bernard Baruch told France it would lose U.S. aid if it voted against partition. The wives of Latin American country delegates received mink coats. In the end, all the Zionist threats and bribery resulted in the UN passing the partition plan despite all Arab countries opposing it and with no support from the Palestinians who actually owned Palestine. Thus, the UN vote to partition Palestine was a Zionist-controlled political rubber stamp on the Zionist theft of Palestine. It wasn't a binding vote, just an advisory opinion, but it was used as an excuse to steal the country. Even David Ben-Gurion later admitted that the Zionists had stolen Palestine. Ben-Gurion said in a conversation with Zionist leader Nahum Goldman, quote, "Why should the Arabs make peace? If I was an Arab leader, I would never make terms with Israel. That is natural. We have taken their country. Sure, God promised it to us, but what does that matter to them? Our God is not theirs. We come from Israel, it's true, but 2,000 years ago, what is that to them? There has been anti-Semitism, the Nazis, Hitler, Auschwitz, but was that their fault? They, the Palestinians, only see one thing. We have come here and stolen their country. Why should they accept that?" End quote. The atrocious historical crime of the partition of Palestine and the theft of the country would eventually have been called into question for JFK if he'd found out about the NUMEC Zionist nuclear weapons smuggling operation. One revelation would have led to more questions and more revelations of Zionist crimes. Had the public found out Israel was stealing nuclear weapons materials from the Pennsylvania plant, Israel at minimum would have been permanently exiled from American halls of power. Ben-Gurion's high hopes were very different than JFK's. In addition to acquiring nuclear weapons, conquering more territory in the Middle East, stopping the return of Palestinian refugees, and preventing AIPAC from being registered as a foreign agent, David Ben-Gurion had another major long-term goal for Israel that could never be accomplished with JFK in the way: the creation of a Jewish Zionist world government with Jerusalem as the global capital.
This scenario is borne out by none other than Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion, one of the great founders of Israel. Recorded in an astonishing article in Look magazine, Ben-Gurion predicted that a one-world system presided over by Jerusalem will be set up in the near future. All continents will become united in a world alliance, at whose disposal will be an international police force. All armies will be abolished, and there will be no more war. In Jerusalem, the United Nations, a truly United Nations, will build a shrine of the prophets to serve the federated union of all continents. This will be the seat of the Supreme Court of mankind, to settle all controversies among the federated continents as prophesied by Isaiah.
While Ben-Gurion's goal was a Zionist peace in which Israel would conquer and rule the world according to the Torah, or Hebrew Bible, also known as the Old Testament, JFK's Christian faith and American ideals informed his vision of a very different kind of peace.
I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope and build a better life for their children. Not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, but peace in all time.
The Kennedy presidency was an existential crisis for Israel on every conceivable level.
Let us move up the steep and difficult path towards comprehensive disarmament, securing mutual confidence through mutual verification, and building the institutions of peace as we dismantle the engines of war.
Israel's back was against the wall. For Israel to survive and achieve all its goals in the 1960s, JFK.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
November 22nd, 1963, the CIA, Israel, Zionists, and a coalition of power elites overthrow the U.S. government. Co-opted Israeli agent James Jesus Angleton, the most powerful man at the CIA at the time, orchestrated the assassination of JFK and the cover-up on behalf of both former and Israel's founding Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion. Books such as JFK and the Unspeakable and the
Make sure y'all talk about this. Man, this is what we need to be talking about. Everybody needs to be talking about this shit tomorrow. I'm tired of them playing us against each other.
CIA Deputy Director Robert Amory, one of the only honest CIA leaders with honor and integrity, correctly named Angleton to be a co-opted Israeli agent in October 1956. as revealed by another honest CIA agent.
But they don't teach y'all that shit.
Eveland, in his memoir,
They told y'all it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Held
Come on, man.
Power over Allen Dulles.
No, the world needs to know the truth.
Ensured Angleton could get away with advancing Israel's entire agenda, including the illegal smuggling of nuclear weapons materials out of the U.S. Crane Eveland also says Angleton turned over most of the CIA's Middle East intelligence responsibilities to Israel. Angleton, pictured here with future Mossad director Ephraim Halevi, coordinated CIA Mossad operations to cover the entire Middle East and Africa. Thus, the Mossad used their Zionist loyalist Angleton to execute a coup of the CIA and take over nearly the entire CIA in the 1950s, long before JFK took office. After Ben-Gurion resigned as Israel's prime minister on June 16, 1963, 5 months before the assassination, Halevi disclosed that Angleton met privately in person with Ben-Gurion to transact business at Ben-Gurion's home in Sde-Boker, Israel. With respect to U.S. relations with Israel, Angleton ran a shadow government within the CIA. Angleton's counterintelligence program was a CIA within the CIA, sealed from scrutiny and accountable to no one, yet supported by an almost unlimited budget. Angleton's Israeli partners worked closely with him to prepare for the Dallas coup. The Mossad's Yitzhak Shamir reportedly hired at least one of the JFK assassination team members through a French intelligence contact. The Mossad and Shamir's daughter confirmed Shamir was stationed in Paris during his tenure as director of assassinations.
חלק מהתקופה הזאת המשפחה נמצאת בפריז.
פריז הייתה מוקד של הפעילות המודיעין הישראלית באירופה.
אנחנו ידענו שאנחנו נוסעים לפריז כי אבא הוא עובד אל על.
Shamir ran the Cadone, the ultra-elite team known as the Mossad within Mossad. Israeli press disclosed that the Mossad hired Adolf Hitler's #1 former commando, Otto Skorzeny, for ongoing assassination jobs starting in 1962. H.P. Albarelli reports Otto Skorzeny played a key role in the JFK assassination. Numerous Zionist fingerprints are found all over the Dallas coup and the cover-up.
It was the driver who shot Kennedy too, just so y'all know. I've seen the video.
Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin was in
before they start scrubbing the fucking internet.
The JFK assassination, according to Rabin's widow, he was allegedly on a military briefing tour. 2 weeks after the assassination, Rabin was promoted to chief of staff of the Israeli military. The National Crime Syndicate, which was mostly Zionist and mostly Jewish, played a major role in the assassination. 2 different contacts who possess direct knowledge of the incident told me that organized crime boss and Zionist Jew Paul Dorfman angrily pushed Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy up against a concrete column at a Democratic fundraiser in San Francisco at the Sheraton Palace Hotel's Grand Court. Dorfman said to RFK, "Look, you son of a bitch, I put your brother in the White House, and I can take him out." In the weeks prior to the JFK assassination, Paul Dorfman's stepson Alan Dorfman paid off Jacob Leon Rubenstein, a.k.a. Jack Ruby.
Jack Ruby.
Jewish mobster who was charged with shooting and killing Lee Oswald, Angleton's chosen scapegoat.
Gotta clear up the loose ends.
JFK assassination. A paraffin that case against Oswald was a big lie.
I emphatically deny these charges. I'd like some legal representation. These police officers have not allowed me to have any. I'm just a patsy.
Not only was Lee Oswald
I'm just a patsy.
He loved President Kennedy and reportedly saved the president's life a few weeks before Dallas by warning about an early assassination attempt that was being set up in Chicago for November 2nd, 1963. Former Secret Service agent Abraham Bolden, who is loyal to JFK, is a living witness who testifies that this plot was funded by Israelis.
I do know that in October of 1963, there was another information that was gathered by the Secret Service informant in Chicago that said that the president was about to be assassinated and that it was a done deal, that the money had been put up by Israeli sources.
When Rabbi Hillel Silverman interviewed Jack Ruby in prison, Ruby said, "I did it for the Jewish people." Ruby was a strong supporter of Israel, had traveled to Israel, and had run guns illegally to Israel. The Dorfmans and Jack Ruby were underlings of Meyer Lansky, the Zionist chairman of the National Crime Syndicate and its infamous assassinations arm, Murder Incorporated. Lansky was the most powerful mobster in the U.S. He was the actual godfather. He played a crucial role running guns to Israel for the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, and he closely collaborated with CIA leadership on numerous operations, including drug trafficking and assassination plots against Fidel Castro. In 1970, Lansky fled to Israel to escape tax evasion charges. Another CIA agent who was a Zionist Jewish spy loyal to Israel, Reuben Efron, opened Oswald's mail on an ongoing basis before the assassination under Angleton's direction. Pro-Israel Zionist media such as the New York Times played a key role in disseminating
New York Times is not a real newspaper, folks. Just so you know.
Lie, pinning the blame on Oswald.
Yes, that's them. Don't ever believe anything you ever read in the New York Times. You need to know that that's them. Okay? 100% all them. If you read it, you better read it just so you can keep track on them to know what angles they pushing. But the New York Times is not news. Hell. Go back and listen to the lyrics to Staying Alive. So we can try to understand the New York Times effect on man. Whether you're a brother or whether you're another, you'll be staying alive. Staying alive. Just in case you guys ain't know the lyrics. Anyway, folks, you know, at this point, especially if you just got through watching this entire video, and if you take your ass right now, and start revisiting history. Go revisit history. Go learn history as a grown adult. And then I want you to come back here and tell me that it ain't them. I told y'all I'm willing to die on this cross. And whether y'all like it or not, eventually we're going to have to go to war with these people because they're trying to kill us all. For those of you who know me, man, because I shared the shit out of this fucking video because I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. I've been watching this shit, man. I'm telling y'all, I've been watching this shit. I've been watching these folks since I was like a junior in fucking high school. Y'all want to know what all this shit about? Why y'all ain't never get no podcast? Because I'm just trying to get a voice. I had just been trying to get y'all ears, y'all eyes. Y'all think this some shit, man? If y'all only fucking knew what I know. Man, this shit go way back before fucking Jesus.